no days off. So, are the Rams the team to beat? Are they? I mean, yes. Yes. Yeah, of course they are. I think they've always been the team to beat. Well, not always, but I think for the past few years, they have definitely been the team to beat. And it's not because they got Miles Garrett. It's not because AD may come back. It's none of that. No, the Rams. You got anytime when you have. I said this time and time again. I've been saying this since I've been 14 years old, watching football, playing football. Anytime when you have a Hall of Fame quarterback and a Hall of Fame coach, and I didn't start saying this until Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, and they really, I think they really put that mark, that stamp, that that type of football law into all of our minds because of what they did. It was sometimes it was years when we were like, New England ain't going, and then they end up winning it all. You know, I mean, it was like every single year New England had a shot. Even when they didn't go, it was still like they still got a shot because Brady always made it possible. And then you have Bill Belichick, the greatest coach of all time, arguably the greatest coach of all time. I think Bill Belichick is the greatest coach of all time. Some people will say it's Andy Reid. That's fine. And other people have different opinions, different thoughts of different coaches. That's fine. I'm not going to debate with you on that. But I'm not going to say Bill Belichick is unarguably the greatest coach of all time because some people will think Tom Brady had more to do with that than had to do with its New England success than Bill Belichick. But Bill Belichick was always a great coach before Brady. So let's still give Bill Belichick his flowers, and he's figuring out how to make it work in college. And I actually commend Bill Belichick on doing that. Bill Belichick has Bill Belichick has humbled him. Well, I'm not going to say Bill Belichick has humbled himself. I don't think Bill Belichick needs humility. Bill Belichick has downgraded the profession, I guess you can say, into seeing if he can master college football, if he can be the great coach in college football. I think, period, Bill Belichick is a great coach. He is the greatest defensive coach of all time. You give Bill Belichick a great quarterback, or at least a good quarterback, you see what he can do. So, with all that being said, the purpose of this video is, are the Rams the team to beat? And again, I will answer that. Yeah, they are. But a lot of people, I see the media thinking the Rams is a team to beat because of the fact they got Miles Garrett, because they got Miles Garrett, and because AD may come back. Like I said, that's not the reason though, because I mean, here Dan Orlovsky, Do, he's saying that he thinks the Rams are just going to pretty much just demolish everybody. He thinks the Rams is going to blow out every single team that they're going to play against, and that's a little too that's pressing a little bit too much. That's a bit unrealistic. This is the NFL. I don't care how talented the Rams are going to be, how talented they are. Even if AD comes back, they're not blowing out every single team. That's not going to happen. That can't happen. And if it does happen, they blow out every single team in the regular season. I guarantee you, they're not going all the way. It's not going to happen. They're going to be burnt out. They're going to be too burnt out. It's too hard. Week in, week out is too tough. It's too hard. It's too intense to consistently just blow out every single team, walking into the playoffs where teams are much harder, where the games are much harder, where it's a different season, it's a whole different atmosphere, it's different games. And then you're going to do the exact same thing in the playoffs and then do it in the Super Bowl. They're going to be burnt. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's never happened. It's never happened. And the Rams are not the most talented team ever in the NFL history. They're not the most talented. Dio also said he thinks that they are going to be the greatest third down defensive team of all time. I don't think that. I mean, maybe. I don't know who's the greatest greatest team of all time. I'll have to look that up. But I think he's pressing a little bit too much because you talk about Aaron Donald and Myles Garrett, two of arguably the greatest defensive players of all time. I will not debate that. And I said argue because I don't think they're the greatest defensive players of all time, but people will say they are, and I can understand why some people will say they are. I'm just going to be straight up. Well, I'll be straight up with you all. I I think I've been saying Darrelle Revis is the greatest defensive player of all time, and I have my reasons on that because I think Darrelle Revis is the greatest cornerback of all time, and I think the cornerback position is the most hardest position in all of football, and is definitely the hardest position in defense. So my argument is in that if and you think about and if you think about the teams that Darrelle Revis was on, how dominant the Jets were, the Jets defense was. They went to AFC championships 2 years in a row, I think. The defense was so scary. And if they had a quarterback, they would have won at least a Super Bowl. But Mark Sanchez, and it's coming from a USC fan, USC diehard fan, Mark Sanchez just couldn't get it done. And they had the team. It was just Mark Sanchez couldn't get it done. And I remember telling my friend, I had my friend at the time, he's a diehard New York Jets fan. I remember telling him, I said, if the Jets had a quarterback like Phillip Rivers, I would have been won a Super Bowl. But that's even wrong because Phillip Rivers, he's had great teams, he's had great defenses, he's had great offenses, and Phillip Rivers still couldn't get it done. So, but hey, man, I that's just my opinion. Darrelle Revis is the greatest defensive player of all time. I know a lot of people will not agree with that, but like I said, I have my reasons of why I say that, and that's that. But anyway, back to the Rams. The Rams they're not even the most talented team ever, and people are thinking, people like D.O. are thinking that they're just going to just walk into the Super Bowl. Now, don't get me wrong. I did pick the Rams going to the Super Bowl. I did do that. The Rams are going to go to the Super Bowl. That's my pick. I picked them way before Myles Garrett even went. Way before they even signed with Myles Garrett signed with them. I picked them a while for them to go. I said it was going to be the Rams and the Chargers. So because those two picks that they did I think those two cornerbacks that they picked up were very, very solid picks that they picked up in free agency. So they're going to be a dangerous team. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying the Rams is not going to be good, but how D.O. is thinking that they're just going to just thrash every single team and just walk into the Super Bowl, that's just not realistic, bro. Like, I don't even know why you even think that. And just off pure talent. Now, off pure talent, a team is not going to. It's not smart. It's not wise to say a team is going to walk to the Super Bowl off pure talent. Anybody who knows football knows that that's just not going to be the case. Because there has been a lot of talent teams are extremely talented and they couldn't even go. So we just got to be like a little bit more wise in what we're thinking. It's football is a team sport. It's a collaborative sport, and collectively everything has to work. The coach, from the coaches to the players, the communication, everything. And really, it takes an entire city and team and franchise for this team to win the Super Bowl. It can't just be off pure talent, man. Because you can have all the talent in the world if the coaching isn't right, if the communication isn't right on defense, if the team is not playing as a unit, if the defense isn't playing as a unit, if the offense isn't playing as a unit, if both sides of the ball plus special teams, if they're not complementing each other, it's not going to work out. So you can be talent all you want day long. This is not basketball. This isn't the NBA. It really, like, this is why it's like football is the ultimate team sport. That's why they say that it's the ultimate team sport, because it has to be more than just talent alone. So yeah, the Rams are going to go, but they're not going because of all talent. They're going to go because they have a great Hall of Fame quarterback in Matthew Stafford, and they got a great Hall of Fame coach in Sean McVay. And those two are going to be able to rally up the team, have the team play collectively. They're great leaders, and they know how to win, and they have already done it. And that's why the Rams will go all the way. Now, I don't have them winning. I got the Chargers winning. I got them beating the Chargers in the Super Bowl, and I got the Chargers beating them in the Super Bowl. And that's the story. That's the end of the story. So y'all let me know what you think. You think the Rams are the team to beat this year? And yeah, like, comment, share, subscribe. But thank you so much for joining, and thank you for your support. And let's keep this channel growing. AllDayNDO, all day, no days off. Deuces.